Okay. I was doing a live and it was fun and it dropped me twice. And I don't know if it's something that I said, oops, or just the connection was just crappy and this is just how it is. I just don't like when that happens, but this is just gonna be like a regular video with no chat, no fun. Well, no, make it try to make it fun anyway. Regardless, I was talking about Kanye West and Marilyn Manson and how I really appreciate the support that he's given and how, and I know in a way he's doing it in a way, in every way possible, he's doing it for himself because this is Kanye West we're talking about. So he knows exactly what he's doing. This is not a mistake. This is not a coincidence. It's not like, oh, all of a sudden now he wants to hang out with Marilyn Manson. He's doing it for a reason, and the reason is that he wants everybody to talk about him and his new album, and also he wants to show support to a person that pretty much like him has been dragged through the mud for years. And Kanye West is kind of new to the game, but even if he doesn't have 25, 30 years of experience in the music industry, he knows how it goes because they're being brutal to him. Put him here and then drop him down, and put him and drop him down and just burn him, just like they did with Manson, but in a totally different way, totally different music, totally different type of person, but at the same time, and very similar. In some ways, they're very similar. The tragedy of both of them losing their parents and their personas and what people expect from them, and then just being blamed for everything under the sun, everything, not be able to do anything right, everybody talking shit about you all the time. So I think that's what they share in common. So I'm glad that Kenya is on our side. You can tell, and I hope that he stays this way and that he doesn't just like disappears. And I hope that this is a friendship that, you know what I mean, like not something that he's just doing for his album. But for sure, I don't know if I'm gonna buy his album, but if he happens to be doing a show around here, hopefully, but nobody does shows in California, believe it or not. Believe it or not, they don't. If he does, I for sure will go see him, for sure, because that will be fun. That'll be really interesting. I never seen Kanye West live before, and yeah, we can buy the album and we can support him. I do want to support him because what he's doing is priceless. It doesn't have a, there's no money, there's no price in what he's doing really. Without kissing too much of his butt, I'm gonna say is pretty courageous, and he has a lot of bravery in just getting somebody who's canceled, pretty much. Because I mean, we're talking about him, but for the out there in the world, he is way more canceled than Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is more loved than Manson. And the fact that Kenya or anybody is, they're able to be like, well, just hang out. Let's just hang out at my listening party. I think is props, respect. But this is not even like they didn't even hang out this time. This is Kenya wearing a shirt with Manson's face on it and the word unsafe from that photo shoot that Manson did back in the 90s. He just wore a shirt and that's all the man did, and everybody went nuts because that's how the internet works. And if we didn't have the internet, it will still be the TV, it will be the newspaper, it will just be whatever. This is what they like to do. They like to just get these people, just crucify them, and then give them all the riches and make them put them up in here like they did with Manson in the beginning and like they did with Kanye in the beginning, and then just shoot them down, and either make stuff up about them and gossip or just criticize everything that they do. I remember when Kanye West was not even able to talk. He wasn't able to post anything on his Twitter without people getting mad at him. And even if I don't agree with a lot of the political things he was talking about and the people that he was supporting, allegedly, I really don't know if he did or that was part of his scheme, But I didn't agree with what he was talking about. I still think it was great that he was able to just get it out and just exercise freedom, which is something that everybody talks a lot here about. But then when somebody actually exercises freedom and you take advantage of freedom, which is a great thing, take advantage of your freedom. Okay, if you live here or you live in any Western country, in Europe, in Canada, in America, take advantage of your freedom because maybe it's not gonna last forever. So, because you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, you never know. So when you do that, then you're the bad guy. When you express yourself on Twitter or you say something stupid like you're supporting Trump or whatever, then you're the bad guy. No, maybe that was something stupid, but you're not the bad guy. You're not a villain just because you're expressing yourself. This is something that Manson is not the first person that deals with this. This has been happening since David Bowie, Ozzy Osbourne. In the 80s, Madonna, we're talking about pop music, and she was the shock person. They gave her a hard time because she was just singing a song with the word virgin. Okay, that's it. Even if it was a totally positive song, she got so much heat. She couldn't even. There was a couple when she was doing yes, the Blood Ambition tour, which was amazing because I saw it. I was like 18, and I saw her, and I love every minute of it. She was not allowed to play in a lot of states in the United States. She was of course Illinois, New York, California, Texas, like a lot of places, like the big states with the big cities, they were okay, but a lot of places she couldn't even go. I'm talking about Madonna. I'm not even talking about rock star. I'm talking about Madonna, pop star. This whole shock thing is not a new thing, and it's not a new thing to get somebody and destroy them after you put them up here, which is exactly what the media does, especially in this country. So if you have some freedom and you're famous, or you're not famous, but you have a YouTube channel that you have like thousands of people looking, at your crap all the time, exercise that freedom. Say whatever you want to say, because that's kind of what we pay taxes for, isn't it? I'm sorry to put it that. I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's actually what I think. I think people talk about freedom so much, and then when somebody uses that freedom for something, even if it's dumb. Like supporting Trump or saying something dumb just to get attention from people, like Madonna did many times, then they just don't like it. Then you become the villain. You become the if you're a woman, if you're Madonna, you're a slut, you're a whore, you're a bad person. If you're a guy, you are a criminal, you're the villain. They just don't like it. So then we gotta stop talking about how much we appreciate our freedom. And then when artists, because I do think pop music is artistic, then with any type of artist, it shows off their freedom or any opinions or the whatever, then they get criticized as, then we need to stop saying you have your freedom, because obviously you don't. I was just blocked twice from freaking YouTube, and I'm nobody. I am nobody. What do they care? So imagine if it happens to people like us. Imagine if it happens, imagine for them, for the big names like Madonna or Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm not putting Lady Gaga in the group, because Lady Gaga is pretty much just getting a sweet easy ride. The Madonna paid for her. So, but anyway, just from pop music to writers to directors, and my gosh, every time that somebody's a little bit different, then we just have to bring them down and burn them and just say, oh nope, oh, I give you this freedom, but you're using it too much. You're using freedom for something that I don't like. So, hey, stop it. And that's not how it's going to work. That is not how it's going to work. I don't like a lot of things that, not a lot of things, but I don't like certain things that Kanye did in the past, but that doesn't mean that he's not able to do them anymore. It's just my opinion. And opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has one, and they're damn useless. So just because I don't like him, just because I didn't subscribe to whatever he said in a political way in 2019, I think was when he went on his rants, he was just exercising his freedom. He's an American using his freedom for something. I can say that was dumb, maybe, but it was free. And that's what it's about. So the man was wearing a shirt with somebody that he appreciates, that he admires, and he got a lot of shit from the media. And I'm not talking just about America, UK and Canada, because I'm reading it right now. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm reading it from this side of my computer. And he got so much heat. I can't believe it. The picture is amazing. There's P. Diddy right there, and there's Kenya with his mask, with his ski mask and his sunglasses and gloves. I don't know why. Oh my God, it makes me switch just to look at him. But It's really it's an aesthetic. It's a vibe. Kanye West is a vibe, and he's wearing a pink, a silky pink jacket, and under you can see Marilyn Manson's face and the word unsafe. Good for him. Amazing. But now he's gonna have to deal with the heat from it. Rock's dating star has been accused of sexual assault, misconduct, and abuse of several women, including the former partner of Westworld, Richard Wood. He has consistently denied the allegations, calling them horrible distortions of reality. Okay, fun fact, whoever wrote this doesn't know. Even Richard Wood never filed a suit against him. She never did. She named him, as she also said that there was a bartender that also assaulted her. She named him. She never filed a suit. So these people don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And Richard Wood never sued him for assault. She might want to do that, but she actually hasn't. She's one of the ones that didn't do that. So these people don't even read before they type this thing. Anyway, and when they say the word several, they just love using that word. Several women. Several. And if you don't know, you're not into the case, or you live in Iraq, you might be like, oh my God, so like what is like, like with Michael Jackson, oh my God, he just did those to 44 kids. I'm like, where are we getting these numbers from? And this is the same with him. It's not several, okay? It's Chloe Black, Ashley Morgan, Ashley Walters, and Esme Bianco. That's not several, okay? That's not like 20. But they just don't specify. So when you read it, you're like, oh, several. It's just a trick. It's just a tricky word. And also, in this type of articles, when they talk about Kanye West and Manson and why Kanye West is giving Manson any type of attention, they just don't say, well, by the way, updated, this case was dismissed, or Manson was not found guilty of this. They don't put the positive on it. They won't ever do. They'll say several, and they could. If Richard Wood never filed a suit against him. I don't think she ever will. Just like, nope, that ship has passed. She's the one that drafted the freaking Phoenix Act law, and she's the one that sent the emails recruiting the ladies, and she's the one that cooked the whole thing up, but she never really filed suit against him. So these people need to know what they're talking about. This is the something Canadian publication, but this is all over. When you Google Marilyn Manson news, Kanye West, Marilyn Manson, just Google it like that. Everything that shows up is negative. Just making fun of Kanye for just wearing a shirt, not even hanging out with a dude, just wearing a shirt. I mean, maybe we did. They probably hang out in private. I don't know. But just crucifying somebody, like what are we talking about? Freedom? We don't have it. What are we doing? What are we talking about for having freedom? We don't have it. If we're just going to go on somebody because they're wearing a shirt of somebody that somebody doesn't like, a shirt with a face of somebody that somebody doesn't like, that's how silly this is. It's so dumb. Anyway, I also wanted to read. I'm very uncomfortable because I was in LA on my feet half the day because of Brittany, and I'm as happy as I am of the outcome. I'm exhausted and I'm sunburned. And I'm gross and I drink this crap. I'm not a lady. I just play one Monday to Friday. No, I am, and I will make a video on Brittany. Just kind of dissecting, analyzing every aspect of it, because that's one thing that I happen to know a lot about, and it's not just her. There's a lot of people in that same situation that she's on. So anyway, I'm really glad, and I can't wait until I tell my daughter about it and my son, because they know about the case. They don't know about Manson, of course, but they know about the Britney Spears case, and they think it's awful. And they know about Johnny Depp, and they think it's awful. And if a 10-year-old kid, 13-year-old boy can understand that, then why the people out there don't get it? So it kind of sucked that I was doing that live and I was having fun with some of y'all like just were chatting and having fun on YouTube live, and I got dropped twice, and I do not think it was my internet connection. I think it's because I was using The View, which is owned by Disney. I was using their sound. I was not showing the pictures. I was not showing the videos of the ladies. I was just using the sound, and that happened. And then I said a couple bad words, and then I got dropped again. And I think it's really dumb because there's people on YouTube doing gross things like showing bondage. There's people shooting up drugs, showing guns and blood. And how come? How come that's okay and I can't just sit here and talk? Why is it? Why is it a gun or a drug or a girl tied up in bondage? Because there's plenty of videos on that on YouTube. They don't get they don't get caught. They don't get limited. There's no limit for them. Maybe they are, and I just don't know. And why, when I say a word that starts with an N and it has a Z in the beginning, that it refers to certain German paraphernalia. My video was blocked because I said that word, that one little word. From now on, I'm just gonna say German paraphernalia or German style outfits. I was talking about Ashley Walters saying in her lawsuit that Marilyn Manson made her wear, that she forced her to wear a German jacket, because I cannot say the word that starts with an N, and stuff like that. It's so silly, and we're showing really just disasters, not natural disasters, because that's like nobody's fault really, but just like shows like intervention, and shows like hoarders, and shows that you see people doing drugs, you see people like almost having sex, you see people shooting guns, and for some reason that's okay for YouTube or for Facebook. I'm affected by guns. I don't like to look at guns, but I'm not gonna just go and complain and report the video because I don't like to look at guns. I'm just gonna deal with it and just look the other way. So I don't know why violence is okay, but them talking openly about sex is not. That is a thing that Madonna has been dealing with us since the 80s, and I'm never going to understand how come. America is very strange like that. That you can show TV shows like Cops or things like different. They're like literally beating people up, and you can see people snorting coke and people shooting up heroin and people blasting guns and mobsters, and we love that. But then if you see somebody having sex or before having the sex, kind of softcore, then that's a problem. Oh no, it's okay to show a gun, but don't show a butt. Don't show somebody's butt. It's just, or don't talk about sex. You don't want to talk about sex. You really don't. Even if it's what everybody wants to talk about. The reason we have so much assault, not from Manson or from Kanye, but just from the regular guys out there and the regular women out there, is because we don't talk about these things. And that's why we have assault. And that's a lot of perversion, a lot of just mental illnesses. But one of the reasons that people keep doing this is because we don't talk about it. It's because people don't sit with their sons and teach them how to treat women, or with their girls and treat them how to treat boys or girls, whatever they happen to end up hanging out with. So it's both ways. And if you don't want your son to be an asshole and be women or assault them, then just teach them, show them. Like Manson said once, he said bad parents make bad children, and that's pretty much what it is. So me sitting here talking about German paraphernalia, saying that N-word, or saying the R-word, or using Whoopi Goldberg's stupid freaking voice from The View, is so offensive for some reason. And we know the reason. This is not politically correct to do that. To use the R word. That's why you have the channels on YouTube, the big boys talking about Johnny Depp over and over and over for the last 2 years and a half, and making like maybe 3 or 4 videos on Manson, maybe 5 the least, because it's sticky. It's a sticky subject. Sex is very complex. I can do it. I can talk about it because I do this as a job. So I can sit here and talk about kids getting assaulted, women getting assaulted, men getting assaulted. I can do it. I can just read and I can say the words that they don't want us to say. And if we get not canceled, but censored because the people get triggered, that is okay. I understand, and we don't want to trigger people. But getting censored, getting dropped because you say a word that relates to German paraphernalia, is silly. I don't know. Like, I don't feel comfortable with the Church of Scientology. And I don't go to their YouTube channel and be like, oh my God, I gotta just like these people, or this is so bad for my soul, I have to report this. No, I just don't look at it. I think it's disgusting. I was talking about Scientology. I probably should not say that word either. But it's just an example of a lot of things that I don't subscribe to and I actually hate, but instead of reporting them, or I just change the channel. That's why YouTube is awesome, and that's why cable TV is great. You just change it. You don't have to be making anybody their life a living hell, blocking their videos, and just not cool. Anyway, I'm really tired, but I'm still going to go on this. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hair down. I'm sorry. I'm pausing and I'm putting my head down, my hair, because it's killing me. Okay, so yeah, I put my hair down. I feel like a different person. No, I don't feel like a different person. But okay, so I don't want to like scare anybody, but I kind of scared myself when I read this. So it seems like, okay, you know how like we were all, they wear, we wear, they wear, everybody that's into justice for Manson, justice for Johnny, justice for any type of thing like that, justice for anybody that is not proving freaking evidence, and just whoever it happens to be, your favorite musician or your non-favorite musician, don't matter. But we're kind of on this boat now, and we're on the same page. So we got excited. I got excited. Rebecca excited. Everybody did. When 2 weeks ago, the sexual assault lawsuit against Marilyn Manson from Jane Doe, which I know that is Chloe Black. Chloe Black. Well, it was dismissed, and I have like 2 videos on it. Everybody had at least 1 or 2 videos on it. So it was dismissed 2 weeks ago because the judge pretty much said, well, maybe you can have 20 days to refile and show me how you lost your memory from when to when, and what happened before you lost your memory and after when you regain your memory, and how you lost your memory, because you have to prove it. If you're just going to go on the memory train and just say that is a problem, not because you don't have physical evidence, but because you don't remember. And this is what Chloe Black has been trying to say. Esme Bianco supposes she has evidence, her pictures of her back and whatnot. Ashley Morgan says she has evidence. Her cuts, she cuts her legs and all that. I don't believe they have it, but at least they're saying they have it. Chloe Black never did. She never on her lawsuit said, oh, I got this, I got that. I have a mark, I have a bite, no, she never did. So that's why kind of like she shot herself on the foot in a way by saying there was no evidence, because now she got to show something. So 2 weeks ago, her case was dismissed. Lawsuit, civil, again, not criminal, civil, okay? There is no criminal activity going on that we know of, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think there is. But September 15, something happened. So Los Angeles judge dismissed a lawsuit from a woman who accused Marilyn Manson of the word R and threat to kill her in 2011. So now she's going with the killing. She was not saying anything about killing, because I read that file a bunch of times. Now she's going with the killing because she did refile after the judge gave her 20 days. And if you don't believe me, you can just go look at the Pitchfork. The link I'm just gonna put down below. And if I'm not right, please tell me. If I'm getting it confused because I'm really tired, please tell me. I don't think I'm confused. I think this is the same person. So the woman identified as Jane Doe had 20 days to amend the filing. 20 days from the beginning of September. We are almost at the end of September, so she did use her window of opportunity of those 20 days, and then she did refile. I'm sorry to say, she did. So on the new file, which is a refile, let's just call that. It's kind of silly to call it refile because it should just be a new file altogether with a new number. If she's gonna start making noises all over again, it should just be a new one, but it's not. So now it's called Revive Complaint. The Revive Complaint was filed today, September 23rd. That is only a few days ago, and contains new details about the alleged assault and alleged incidents that follow her. Pitchfork has reached it. This is from Pitchfork, which I do trust and believe more than Rolling Stone and other American music websites. Anyway, Pitchfork has reached out to the representative from Marilyn Manson for comment. So they reach out to Marilyn Manson's attorney, which is Howard King. According to court documents, Jane Doe, now she kind of changed the music of this, okay? She refiled. Alleges that Manson told her he will bash her head in. Does that sound familiar to you? You know why? It does. Because there's an interview with Marilyn Manson that says that he would like to bash her head in, and he's talking about Everett Wood, not about Chloe Black. But they grabbed that interview from many, many years ago where he talks about sometimes I have fantasies, bash her head in. And he's talking about Everett Wood. He even says the name. We can just sit here and just say that he should not have said that, right? But this is kind of what he did, right? He did what he did. Only once. There's only one time that he said that he wanted to bash her head in. And Chloe Black is taking it and just making it her own. And we know why she's using the word bash her head in is so obvious, and we all seen their interviews. So she's taking it for, she's just using it because why not? Just because she can. She reported that allegedly assaulted authorities that he said bash her head in, like bash her head in. The refiled suit also states that Jane Doe should qualify for the delayed discovery rule due to the fact that she initially repressed memories of the assault. So this is not really good news. I'm not gonna lie, but okay. The original complaint was filed in May. The original complaint, okay, the one that got dismissed 2 weeks ago. It is one of the multiple, again with the word multiple and several lawsuits that have been brought against Manson. In April, it was Bianco sued for April, May, former assistant of the singer Ashley Walters. In June, Ashley Morgan, we know this. So Mrs. Crowley in the investigation by the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, which I do believe that now he is under investigation, but he wasn't before when they say he were. But nothing now he is, which is fine because in order to just prove that you're innocent, you have to be under investigation. So I don't think it's that scary because he got nothing to hide. So domestic violence incidents with all these women between 2009 and 2011. This month, Manson pled non guilty. New Hampshire, 2 accounts of Class A misdemeanor simple assault because of the spit and the snot from his nose that he allegedly threw to this woman on purpose. I don't think he did it on purpose. That's why to me it's not an assault, just an incident. But anyway, New Hampshire is different. It's a different type of state. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there when it comes to terms into artists and live shows and why they're getting so picky on it. But anyway, so he got that. So they have to include that. Why are they doing that? They're talking about the assault, the sexual assault, the sexual crimes, and they include the New Hampshire spit incident right there, just to kind of like mess with your head, So you're like reading, you're like, oh yes, now I remember. He also has a spit assault. So it's a trick, just like everything, just like the media always does. But at least I recognize it, and y'all recognize it, and it's BS. So, okay, so that's the problem. The problem is that I thought that was just like one source. So I was like, okay, this is just one website saying this. And then I looked it up. And I'm just opening my tablet right now because this thing is slow. Oh, this light is awful. This is what I like doing lives because this is awful. Anyway, but I also found it a Metal Hammer, which is bad. Metal Wire, Metal Hammer, Metal Injection, Rolling Stone, Washington Post, LA Times, New York Times. They're all piece of shit. I know that. But when it comes to just reading it, I got to read it from somebody. So there's at least 2 publications that I found on the same thing, and they were published on the 23rd and 24th, which is only a few days ago. And it reads, Jane Doe files amended rape and refiled, oh shoot, I said the word, anyway, R, and death threat. So this is where she's just really making stuff up to this point. She's always been making stuff up, and now she's going with a death threat, which she didn't do that when she filed the original in May. The woman whose lawsuit against Marilyn Manson was dismissed by a judge last week has refiled an amended version of the suit. A different version of it. Let's just do a different version. It's like that. It's not a movie. You don't do a different version of it. Like, what the hell? So Manson accused of identifying court documents only as Jane Doe. We know your name, Chloe, but anyway, claims that she had previously repressed memories of the singer R.P.I.G. her. She could not, however, specify how the memory was repressed or why she didn't learn of the memory earlier. This is such a mind game, no pun intended, mind fuck. California Superior Court Judge Gregory, doesn't matter the name, stated the statute of limitations and concerns regarding her allegedly repressed memories and the reason for the dismissal. Like, why? Why your memories were repressed and how? Well, why? We can say you blacked out because you were traumatized because you were assaulted as a kid. Okay. All right. I believe it because it happens. But then when your memory came back, you got to explain what happened and when it came back. And this is something that she can't pinpoint. She just can't because it's not true. Period. But it does happen to people, and it happens to a lot of women. But in this case, it hasn't. And she's just wiggling. She's just like, when you go to the casino, whatever, and you're like, oh man, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just gonna play this thing. And it's just, this is what she's doing. She's just like playing it by ear. She's eyeballing it. But it is, it's not gonna work on the long run. But it's published right now, so I'm not making anything up. I couldn't. I don't wanna. I will not lie about this. I really wouldn't. So the judge gave her 20 days to address his concerns and refile her complaint. That's the problem right there. But I think the judge gave her 20 days, and the judge did not know she was going to use the 20 days. But she did. The judge told Jane Doe that he will. Oh no, Marilyn Manson told Jane Doe that he will bash her head in, just like he said on that interview about Evan and bashing her head. Anyway, so they grabbed that and they put it here. If she reported him to the police, so allegedly Manson said to her, "I will bash your head in if you report me to the police." Allegedly, he said that, and will force Jane Doe to have sex with him and to be on top of him during sex, even if he's passed out. Just how does she knows? Like how? Anyway, she will pray. Oh, pray, really, Chloe. She will pray for Brian Warner to pass out during intercourse, and sometimes he did. When this happened, Jane Doe will try to slip away and get some sleep. Oh, come on! But the moment she moved, Brian Warner will wake up and demand to resume the sexual activity even more. I don't know what type of drug. I mean, maybe he was taking Ambien. I don't know what type of drug, what type of pills, what type of alcohol you can actually consume and pass out and then have sex, like Rohypnol maybe, and then come back, to conscious and then just have sex again. I mean, it's maybe you feel passed out, like your Manson, like he was blackout, blackout stupid, he passed out, and then the next day he assaulted her. No. Regardless, I don't think that's true. But she's saying that he will wake up in the middle of this sex, and get mad at her because she tried to kind of sleep away, like, ooh, I'm just gonna move, and he like waking up. And that is something you see in a movie, like in this. like a slasher film from the 90s, you know, the guy's like asleep and then it wakes up when you're trying to move. This girl has a big imagination. She watched way too many movies and she watched a lot of interviews from him, and this is where she's making all this up, grabbing it from his own words that he might have said in interviews, just like the bash your head in. But she's really grabbing, just gasping for air at this point. I do think, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. But nobody else was talking about this, so that's what I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna. I'm sorry, like Brittany the whole day. I'm gonna. So he said, "I'll bash your head in." Allegedly, he said, "I'll bash your head in if you report me to the police." I just don't see him saying that. Why she didn't put that on the first lawsuit? Something so big and so dramatic and so disturbing. Why she didn't, allegedly disturbing, why she didn't you just like type it up on the first lawsuit back in May. You know why, Chloe? And the fact that she's like saying that she was praying for him to fall asleep. That is just, it is a movie. Like, really, maybe she thought she was making a music video or whatever, because we know that she has a dead freaking zombie music career, but she was praying. So they wanted to kill her. Allegedly, he said that once he put a condom on the penis of a bandmate, which is this Twiggy Ramirez. Poor Twiggy. Twiggy's being included in more. Jordy White, we know his name, but known as Twiggy Ramirez, and performed oral sex on him through the condom. Manson on Twiggy. Manson is split with the band in 2017. No, Manson kind of like fired Jordy. Remember when Manson fired Twiggy Ramirez in 2017 after one of his former partner, Jacob Hill, vocalist with Jessica Adams, alleged that Twiggy Ramirez are her in the 90s. I never actually investigated on that, or anybody that I know knows anything about that, so I am not going to say that Twiggy definitely didn't do anything shady back in the 90s. But also, if he did, he would be investigated and he would have been, punished. And he wasn't. So it's probably that woman is really making stuff up. Or maybe she also lost her memory and got her memory back 10 years later. Because this happens in the 90s, so she got her memory back now. Her name is Jack of Hill, another musician. Anyway, so this is the part, this is really gross. So disclaimer, this whole thing is gross, but this is, I don't know if I can say these words. I'm going to say it in a silly way, but I'm still going to say. Additionally, the suit aims to expound upon the issue of Jane Doe repressed memories according to the new version. That's right. I like the person who typed this. The new version, because exactly what she's doing is so shady. The new version. In 2011, Manson are her both. This is something new. She's just putting it here. Orally and, oh God, I hate this, on her lady parts. Let's just, I'm not going to use the V word. So orally and also on her, down there. And that Jane Doe knows that it was sometime in the hours of a most very few days after that, after the R, that she repressed the memories. Chloe, hurting my freaking head. So pretty much she's saying that he did that R her, and that between the hours of the R and the oral R, because it's two different things, between those hours she repressed the memories. This is really hard for anybody to believe, even a judge, even if the judge is kind of on her side. This is going to be ridiculous. What's the evidence of that? How can you prove that he did that orally and not on the other way? She didn't go to the doctor back then, so we had to supposed to believe her at face value. New version of the lawsuit. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I'm gonna say, because this is redundant of the same thing. So the other three women, including Esme Bianco, Ashley Walters, Ashley Morgan, they need to put it here. Remember, they have to make it sound like there's more than what it is, which this is actually the suits. It's Esme Bianco, Ashley Morgan, and Ashley Walters. But why they can just talk about the Jane Doe and then just leave it alone? They just have to, put it in there and put the spit incident in there, and so you can go like, oh my God, what a monster. And you keep doing it and people keep falling for this. It's just so silly. Meanwhile, the shock rocker, they also have to use the word shock. Can you just say musician? Like, really? Like, if you're talking about David Bowie, rest in peace, or Prince, rest in peace, you would not say the glam rocker. Well, maybe they did and I just didn't register on my head. You would just say the artist, or Bowie, or Prince, or Ozzy Osbourne. Why is it the shock rocker? It's just so that you can just like be like, that's what it is. It's currently facing 2 misdemeanors, the state of New Hampshire. We know that's redundant. I'm not gonna keep going with that. I made videos about that, and we know, and we know that actually he did that. But also we know that Howard King, his attorney, said this woman, would happen to be a woman, but I don't think it's just a coincidence. She was warned, and she had a warning, just like everybody that goes into those shows, and especially the people that take pictures and video, that they might get in contact with saliva or any body fluids, and also water, because sometimes he does that. He like drinks the water and he goes pff, right. So they were warned they pretty much signed a waiver. This is what it's called, and that a lot of bands, a lot of musicians just make other people sign. So she was aware that might happen, or might not. So at the same time, even if he pled non guilty, he actually did that, but she was aware. So it's almost the same than pleading non guilty. Because even if he was guilty of doing it physically, doing that to anybody in the stage, and it wasn't just on her. And this is what she's saying. She's saying that it was on purpose on her, and I just don't think it was. Nobody thinks it was. I think with this New Hampshire thing, maybe the best thing to do is to go there and just settle and just give her the money so this goes away. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but it's so silly. So they're putting everything in there, okay? Also, Mr. Attorney Howard King argued that the concert biographer, photographer, anybody that works there, such as this name of this person, I'm not going to say it because it doesn't matter, and often subject to incidental contact, with this sign a waiver, okay? Consented on a waiver to expose herself to potential contact with sweat, saliva, and phlegm in close quarters, pretty much body fluids anytime, and that any contact related to spitting or sneezing was unintentional. Yeah, the guy sneezed a lot. He coughed a lot. We all seen it. And you will too. If you're jumping around like a monkey for 2 hours screaming, yeah, there's gonna be a point that it's just gonna come out. And I don't think it was ever intentional, but this is what they made her sign, that just like they made everybody sign that waiver, warning. This might or might not happen. So despite the fact the videographer incident shows Manson looking at down there where she was on the pit, because she was taking pictures, video of him, the spitting directly into the pit, if convicted, Manson faces up to a year in prison and a fine of $2,000 for each charge. So I'll say pay the fine. He's not gonna go to prison, but if there's a minimal, a sliver of choice, an option, choose the money, give her whatever she wants. But I don't think they can prove that it was intentional. Also, how can he prove that it was not intentional? So it's hard. It's so silly, but at the same time, it's hard to prove without just believing this woman at face value. There's nobody else around her that can say, yes, I saw it, he did that intentionally. Nobody else. Even if there were people around her, thousands of people, the crowd, like the security, nobody jump and say, hey, this just happened to her, let's go to the police station. Nobody witnessed it, so I suppose to just believe this woman. So then yes, so I got my video right there, so it's not super long ass video. So I'm just gonna follow on this, but I don't think it's bad news, but at the same time, we all got excited when Jane Doe case was dismissed, and now she refiled a new version of it, saying that between the hours of the rape, oh shoot, they are in a different way, orally and in a different way. She lost memory between Monday and Tuesday, for example, and she regained memory after the whole thing. I don't know. It's really hard to understand. I'm a woman, and it's really hard. I've been in situations not like that, but in situations of seeing people passing out, and that's not how it works. That's not how I'm seeing it. So anyway, Chloe Black, you did it. You refiled. I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. I think if the judge saw the first time that it was BS, it's the same judge. He's gonna think the second time that it's BS. It's not a new judge, but sometimes the same judge kind of like they change their mind because pressure from the public and whatnot. So hopefully he didn't. Hopefully he's not those type of judges. I mean, there's judges that they say they don't read papers. They say they don't watch documentaries. Like the judge from Britney Spears, she was saying something different for the last 7 years, and today she said something completely different. And I felt it's because she was pressured. So by all of us. So I hope Manson judge is not on that, and he's not being pressured. He doesn't feel like, well, I dismissed it the first time, now I had to accept it and at least listen to her. So she refiled everybody. It is what it is. I still think it's not going to go anywhere, but it might just take a little bit longer. So 2 weeks ago, she was dismissed. So it's clear, okay? 2 weeks ago, Jane Doe, Chloe Black was dismissed. But a few days ago, on the 23rd, she refiled and said that she lost her memory from a Monday to a Tuesday, pretty much. And also added in her new version of it that he said to her, I will bash your head in if you report me to the police. This thing wasn't on the first file, because we all read it. I mean, I've read it 100 times. I have it in my computer. I have it. I don't remember anything about bashing heads in. Bash your head in. It's so sci-fi. It's a movie. It's a horror movie. And the whole thing about him passed out and waking up in the middle of the sex, I don't know. Like, I'm seeing, like, I'm going to research that. I've never seen that. I've seen some weird shit. I've never seen anybody, what type of drug, pill, or drink or anything will make you do that. Just think about it. If you have any ideas, let me know. I don't think that happened the way she said. So allegedly. Anyway, I'm gonna come back with this because I thought I was done with her, but obviously we're not done with her. But there's good news with Kanye West, just, you know, sticking out for him, just wearing his shirt, his face on his shirt, and I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if he did it on purpose because this case is refiled, or he just did it because now Kanye is planning to wear Marilyn Manson shirts every single day. But regardless, I appreciate that. I have new respect for the guy. And I'm not saying that to kiss his butt. I'm saying that because I do appreciate anybody that will help us out and, you know, kind of integrate Manson again in the music industry. Either taking him to a listening party or taking him to a party or just putting in a music video. Because they have a song together. It's called Jail Part 2, I think. So maybe they make a music video together. Maybe that'll be cool. Okay, Lily, I'm about to be done. She's like, it's midnight. Why we're still awake? I'm very tired today, but I'm very happy with what happened in LA. Okay, mwah. Don't be such a weirdo. All right, good night. So yeah, make good choices. Don't believe everything you read or hear from people. And if you don't believe me, because sometimes people go like, oh, you're making like no sense. How you say it was dismissed and I was not. Well, you know what? You can just read it. I won't mess around and I won't lie about something like this. It will be no. It makes no sense for me to do that. Or that will be just like Chloe. Old version, new version of me. Yeah, so she'd refile. Come on. Anyways, if you got any news, just let me know. Until then, I'll come back. When I come back, I'm going to try to be a good girl, YouTube, and not say those words. Because it's not fun to make a whole, I'm just itchy, my cat made me itchy. It's not fun to make a whole video and just, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted, make the whole video and chat with people and whatnot, and then have it blocked or removed because I use somebody's voice from somebody's TV show that is public knowledge because it aired, a year ago. Anyway, or said a word that starts with an N. Not that bad word. Another one that starts with an N. It's not fair, really. I'm not going to make a big deal until if it happens again, then I'll say something. But it's not a big deal because I can always rephrase it, which is what I've been trying to do. Anyway, so good night. I'm going to go. Oh my God, almost an hour. But I made it less than an hour. So if you made it all the way to the end, I love you. Seriously. And thank you so much. If you have any news, anything you want to say, let me know. Yes, really, we're almost done.